The last speaker for the day is Julian Dontcheff. He's working with Oracle in United States, and let's congratulate him because his flight from Las Vegas just arrived this afternoon. So you can imagine how hard is it to travel so long time and straight present to our audience. So thank you, Julian, and have a good one.
Hello, everyone. So my history is as follows before I start presenting. I am the product manager for JSON and PL/SQL at Oracle Corporation. I'm a database guy. I used to work before Oracle for Accenture. I was running for 12 years the global database team of Accenture, all databases, not just Oracle, any database. And before that, for 9 years, I was running the database team of Nokia 20 years ago. My history is primarily with Oracle databases, but I'm going to do some demos also with Mongo Compass. The presentation today is on JSON relational duality. And I don't know how deep I should go because I do not know how much you know about Oracle database. Can you please raise your hand if you have worked with Oracle database? Oh, everybody. Okay, that's good news. And Mongo? So that's easy. All right, very good. So last week or a couple of weeks ago, we announced the latest version of Oracle database, 26 AI. So 26 AI is like 23.10, but you don't have to specifically upgrade to get to 26 AI. So what I'm going to demo today will be based on 26 AI. I have an Oracle database in the cloud. Here I'm using SQL Developer. So this is a database. When you run select banner full from version, you see that it's 23.10. But actually it's 26 AI. Also, I have a connection to the same database, but using Mongo Compass. And Mongo Compass, for those of you who don't know, is you can think of the SQL Developer version for Mongo, guys. And here I'm connected to the same database. It's called AJK26. And the way how it works is that we have a Mongo API, which connects to the Oracle database. You can run Mongo commands against an Oracle database. That's what it does, basically. You can think of some software on top of the Oracle database where every Mongo command is being translated into an Oracle command, and we run an Oracle command. So it's exactly the same data, the same version. But before I even start doing any demos, I'll go into the PowerPoint presentation, so I introduce some concepts. And the topic today is about JSON duality views. And I saw a lot of you work with JSON, Mongo, and Oracle, but who has worked with duality views, with JSON duality views? Anyone? So no one, nobody. All right, good. So this is something that we developed in 23 AI. And the whole idea is that you can view Oracle relational data in JSON format. You can present the data in JSON files, JSON documents. And the agenda for today, in the next 40 minutes, is first some historical background on JSON in the Oracle database. Then I'll explain what is JSON relational duality. And some people claim that this is the biggest invention in not only in the Oracle database, but in the IT industry, which is, of course, as the product manager of JSON, I'm a bit biased, but it's probably in Oracle 23 AI, or say 26 AI database, it is by far probably the most interesting and important feature. I'm going to show you what flex columns are, flex columns in tables, because they relate to JSON and to Oracle database. And then I'm going to show you the newest tool that we have, which is called the JSON to Duality Migrator. It automatically migrates Mongo or any other JSON database to Oracle. If I have the time, I'll show you how I'll do it. I'll do it with a very simple collection, but it automatically runs a command. It's a PL/SQL block that I'm going to run, and it will convert Mongo into Oracle. You don't have to do anything. So it creates, based on the Mongo documents and their fields, it creates relational structure. It builds also indexes, sequences on top of that. It creates the JSON views on top of the Oracle database, and then it imports the data in one go. And that's the live demo. And for Q&A, you don't have to wait for the Q&A. you can anytime raise your hand and you can interrupt me. It's fine if you want to ask me something specific, because at the end it's a bit different. And those lamps a bit directly into my face, but if somebody's raising the hand, please point him or her to me. JSON in the Oracle database, more than 10 years. It came with 12c release 1. And with 12, this is the converged database. So basically that's the Oracle database where everything, what you can think of, is being supported. You know, the Oracle database compared to the other databases, which are, I think at the moment, around 450 in the world, 450 databases that you can download from the internet, you can configure, install, use. Oracle is probably one of the very few which contains, if the only one which contains most of the features that other databases have. And one of them, of course, is JSON. And we started with JSON in 12c release 1, where I won't go through all those slides, for all those bullet points, but the ones that you see in red are probably the most important milestones that we developed. So the first one in red is the MongoDB API. I explained that this is software which translates Mongo commands into Oracle, so we speak Mongo. Then we created the native JSON data type. In Oracle, you have a JSON data type. It didn't exist before. Of course, you were able to store JSON documents as CLOPS, character large objects, or BLOPS, binary large objects, or even as varchar2, but with 20C and 21C, we introduced the JSON native data type. It has a limit of 32 megabytes for one JSON document. Compared to Mongo, they have 16. And then duality views. The duality view is probably the most important topic of today, where we, like in a normal view, you worked with an Oracle database, you know how to create a view on a table or on several tables. It's just a meta structure. It doesn't consume storage. It's not a physical segment. It's a view. It's same with JSON duality views. They just read the relational data and they represent the same data in JSON format. And then in the latest release, we introduced the Duality Migrator. This is the tool that I mentioned that migrates automatically Mongo database or any other database that stores JSON files to Oracle. So JSON relational duality. Now, in order to be pretty fair, I would like to compare in one slide which is good for relational and what is bad for relational. The good stuff about relational, that you don't have to duplicate data like you probably would do it in Mongo. There is the consistency, which is guaranteed, while in Mongo, I've seen some customers who migrate from Mongo to Oracle because they have issues with data consistency. Then it's the use case flexibility. And of course, you have SQL. I've seen also several customers who migrate from Mongo to Oracle because at one point they need to start to run reporting and analytics on the data, and they cannot, it's very difficult to do it in Mongo. However, to be fair, in relational databases, and here I mean PostgreSQL, Oracle, DB2, oops, I should have closed this. You require upfront schema definition, so you need to know very well your use cases. It takes time. While if you start developing an application in Mongo, you can start very quickly without the whole hassle with Oracle that you need to create all the tables and you need to know what columns you have in the tables and what data types are those columns and so on and so on. And of course, with the relational, you often, if you start normalizing too much, you can break the business objects into several tables, into a lot of tables. And of course, SQL is usually, not always, but usually not integrated into the programming languages. Same slide, but about JSON. What is good about JSON, what is not good about JSON. So, of course, good stuff is the JSON object. They contain all the information for one use case. And those objects can be retrieved with a simple get operation. Get the JSON file, put the JSON file. And it's schema flexible. You don't have to worry about the schema. Eventually, I've seen, you have to worry at some point, but not in the beginning. Data first, schema later. However, single hierarchy in JSON in Mongo is only possible for the very simple cases. And I see a lot of data duplication. It's really required for real applications. And the consistency, which I mentioned a while ago, it's very hard to keep. So you have with Mongo, initially you can develop very quickly a database, an application. However, the more complex it gets, the more difficult it gets for developers. and DBAs too. And the opposite with Oracle. Initially, it takes time, it's slow, but eventually it can cover very complex cases. Now, the question is, should we choose relational or documents? Can we get the benefits both of relational plus documents? And yes, the answer is yes. This is JSON relational duality. This is the topic of this presentation. It's available with Oracle Database 26 AI. Now, how it looks like. So on the left side of this slide, you can see how data is stored as rows. It's stored in tables. Against those tables, you can run SQL. And those rows, they can include also JSON columns. You can have a combination of number, date, varchar, and you can have JSON. Data can be accessed as JSON documents. And that's very simple for documents which do not exist. They're based on the relational data which is in the tables. How do you create those views? The new command is create the JSON duality view. And here I have a simple case for a conference. Imagine you would like to create an app for the conference like most conferences have. And you can build the schedule for different participants. Here on the right side, you see the schedule for Jill. And you have only relational tables in the database. But creating such a JSON duality view called @ND schedule, you directly refer to the table @ND, and you use some of the columns to become the fields of the JSON document. So here on the right side, you see how the view would look like. So directly, you can use the same logic like in Mongo. You can get the JSON document and you can put it. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to know Oracle. You don't need to understand the relational databases. You don't need to understand how to work with reporting and analytics. You simply can use the views. This is extremely good for teams which have combination of both Oracle experts and Mongo experts, or document experts and relational experts. They can work together. The ones who do not understand Oracle, they can directly use tools and methodologies they used to, like Mongosh, Mongo Compass, and still don't even comprehend or understand that behind this tool there is an Oracle database. And the people who are relational and understand relational databases, they can still continue using their tools like SQL Developer, SQL Plus, and so on. Now, here is how simply you need to specify the tables which contain the data in order to create those JSON documents. They're called JSON duality views. This is the official name, JSON relational duality view. And here, creating the JSON duality view @ND schedule, we use 4 tables. You use the @ND table, the @ND session table, the session table, and the speaker table. Those are very normal relational tables in a conference app. You have also JSON collection views. And JSON collection views, there are 2 kinds of those. There are the duality views that I just mentioned. They are updatable. You can directly run and delete or update against the view, and it will also update the relational data behind the view. But you have also non-duality JSON collection views, which are read-only. Why there is such a division between those two, readable and read-only? Updatable and read-only, it's because some apps just do not need to update the data. There are customers that create now apps only based on JSON collection views, which are read-only. And the way how you create a JSON collection view is very simple. You run a command, create or replace JSON collection view, and you select the data that you need from the tables using the JSON operator. Now, those JSON duality views and JSON collection views, they have only one column. The column is always called data, and the type is JSON. So only one column. When you describe such views, you see what you see here at the bottom of the slide. You'll see one column, always the name is data. Now, flex columns. Flex columns are related to JSON duality views, and in order for me to explain it, I rather show you with an example than show it on a PowerPoint slide. Now, let me first drop what I have. And note here that in 26a, we have a syntax if exists. So you can drop now a table if it exists. You'll never get an error message. Before, in the past, if you drop a table that exists or doesn't exist, you get a message the table does not exist. Here, always you get the message table drop. That's probably good for developers when you run your scripts, that they don't throw you error messages. Now, I'm going to create a simple table called person, this table. And the table has 4 columns. One is the ID, which is the primary key number. We have the first name, the second name, and we have the JSON, which is called extras. I'm calling it extras. You can call it anything you want. This is just the JSON document. I want to show you what is a flex column. Table created. Okay, now I'm going to create the duality view on top of this relational table. And I'll show you how the syntax works. So here it is, create JSON duality view. I'll call it person merge view. I will select from the person table. I'll select the ID. And I'll call the ID, I'll call it underscore ID. This will be the field in the JSON document. I have the first name, and I'll call it first name. I have last, which I call last name, and the extras. I say add flex because this is a column where actually we'll be dumping everything. And it says JSON duality created. So flex column basically is a column in the table, in the Oracle relational table, where we dump fields that are unknown or unpopular. You always can have in a JSON document a new field, but behind it, there is a table. The table has a certain amount of columns. And you do not know if the field that comes from the JSON view will have behind it the column or not. You can, of course, create always a column. You can always alter table, add column, but that you need to know very well when to do it, and this doesn't work in real production life. So here we create the duality view. And I need to insert in the table probably few values so that I can show you what it means. So here I'm going to insert the first row. I'm going to insert 3 rows. First with ID 11, I'm going to add one for Bida Hammerschmidt, and I'm using also a field called nickname, Dr. Jason. Bida is the VP who runs JSON in Oracle for development. So note that I don't get an error message, 1 row inserted, although I didn't have in the table a nickname column. It goes into the flex, that's the whole idea. It absorbs it. It takes everything that is unrecognizable. Then I'm going to do a second one for Herman, no nickname. So here the nickname is empty, as you can see. And then I think the last one is me, Julian, and my friends call me Ju. So here it is with the nickname. And probably I need to commit. All right, so now we have the three columns in the table. Now, let's see what really we have. If I select from the table with a where condition where the ID is 11 or 33, here obviously it's me. So here you see that, let me increase a bit. I'm without the mouse. So here you can see that it's me and the nickname is here also. It's a flex field. Also, if I want to select everything from the duality view, not from the table, you can see that I have Bida, I have Herman, I have me, and you have the nicknames. You can see the same also from Mongo Compass. Let me refresh. Person merge duality view, here it is. And here we have Bida, we have the last name, the nickname, same for Herman and same for me. Here you have this button where you see where the cursor is. If I click on it, you get a view from Mongo Compass, more like a relational-like. You have columns, rows, but probably that's the right way to view the data. Now let's continue. If I would like to add another country, another field, which is the country Finland, where I live, I can update directly the view. So look at this update duality view. I set a new field called Finland, and it's called country. It's for me, for ID 33. Here it is, 1 row updated. Let's commit this one as well. Now, if we look here at Mongo Compass, you'll see, if I refresh, I'll see that there is now also for myself, there is the country field. So directly through the duality views, you can update the relational data. You don't have to be an Oracle expert. You can continue working with your Mongo skills. You can use your even Mongo tools. And so on and so on. Now let's see if I would like to get a better output. I would like to concatenate the first name and the last name, get all the information, get the nickname and the country. And here I'm selecting also from the duality view for myself. So here it is the name, the nickname, and the country. So everything you get from here. So this is a flex field. That was exactly what I wanted to show you. You have a field in the table behind the duality view, which absorbs all unrecognizable data. It gets there. It's a JSON. Yes, please.
Why the size obligation for the JSON? Is it field like connected to a field in the table file, or is it a file outside the table with a reference?
Oh, it's inside the table. It's inside. It's inside. And the size is 32 megabytes. That's the maximum size. But you're asking why? Why the 32 megabytes?
This means that the size of the row is 32 megabytes.
Well, think of this like in Mongo, it's 16. So if so many customers manage in Mongo to cope with 16 megabytes, you should be able in Oracle to get with 32 megabytes. Although I've seen some customers who sometimes get documents which cannot fit into the 32 megabytes, and there is a workaround. Then you can create the column as a binary large object which has no limit. Blob. If it was
An external file
mm-hmm.
with the object databases many years
Yes.
It's just a file with 4 gigabytes.
Like the B file in the past, you mean? Yeah. Well, that was the architectural decision, and the idea is to store everything within the Oracle database. Because in the past, when you had the external files, then think of if you have to restore and recover the database. Then if everything is in the database, you have everything in sync, right? You can still do it if you would like. B files still exist, and you can have the JSON files on the operating system. But the question is, how often would you need a JSON? How often do you have a JSON document which is more than 32 megabytes? I have here one file which is with movies, like from IMDb. It has maybe 4,000 or 5,000 movies, and the whole file is only 4 megabytes. So to get to 32 megabytes, you really have to have a lot of data in the JSON document. It's for one JSON document, only 32 megabytes. Not if you use the JSON data type. You're not wasting it. You're not wasting it because it consumes exactly as it needs. That's how it's architectured. You do not use more than it is considered. You can waste it if, for example, you have a varchar 2 and varchar 2 4,000, or now you can have even more than 4,000. And for example, you have a very small file which has 2 or 3 fields, and it uses, say, 200-300 kilobytes only, but not with JSON. So JSON consumes on storage as much as it needs. It doesn't waste space.
And what is the starting size?
I'm sorry?
The starting size of the field.
It doesn't have a starting size.
So it's
Zero. It's zero. So if you, for example, create a table with a JSON column, if one column is JSON, and if you go to DBA segments or DBA, or for example, you analyze the table and you see what is average row number, the average size, then it will, of course, show 0. There is nothing.
So if we update the fields, everything needs to move around, or how does it work?
Which fields?
The JSON field, if we need to change it from 0 kilobytes to 32 megabytes.
You don't do it yourself. The moment you insert the data into the JSON column in the Oracle database, then it automatically will expand.
Like the varchar.
If it's varchar, no, we're talking here about JSON native data type.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, there is one more question. No, okay. All right, let me see how I'm on time. All right, let me continue. We went for flex columns. I did the demo. Now, JSON to Duality migrator. So I want to show you how this works. And probably this is an interesting one because it will migrate directly JSON collections to Oracle database. I can show you some concepts, but I'll do the live migration soon. It will take me 5 to 10 minutes. Now, like every tool has parameters. So you need to put some, of course, you don't need to run the tool with parameters, but there are some concepts that require some background knowledge. One of the parameters is called minimum frequency. So frequency in a JSON document, in a collection of JSON documents, means how often a field is present in the documents. Imagine a collection with 100 documents. Every document is about a single person. So we have 100 people in his audience. There is one document for each one. Think of the field nickname. Maybe only 2 or 3 out of 100 have a nickname in the JSON file. We consider those fields as outliers, meaning they're very rare. They're not common. And by default, we consider a field an outlier if it's less than 5% of the values. Because once you migrate, think why are we doing that? If you migrate a Mongo database, JSON files to Oracle database, do you have to create for every field a column? Maybe not, because maybe there are those unpopular fields, like nickname, which are not present in every document. They're present only in 1 or 2 out of 100, or in 5 out of 100. Those you can use as flex fields, as flex columns, and you can dump them in the flex column. And flex column would help you because in the future, if you have new fields in the JSON documents, they'll be directly dumped there. Now, the frequency can be considered in 2 different ways. Frequency in terms of the field, for example, nickname, or frequency in terms of the type. Usually, number is a number, 5, 6, 25, 100, and we put it as a number. But some developers, some people, put it in quotes as a string. Now, if you have 100 times a number, but in 2 or 3 documents you have the number 7 or the number 5 in quotes as a string, is this a string or is it a number? How would the database consider it? Would it consider it a string or a number? And that's why we have this type frequency parameter as well. What the JSON to Duality migrator does, it will analyze the JSON documents. It will create relational tables based on the documents and their fields. It will create the indexes on those tables. It will create some sequences even, the foreign key constraints, and at the end, it will create the JSON duality views on top of them, so that the JSON documents exist like views, like they did exist before in the Mongo database. And at the end, we're going to import the data. What else I wanted to show you? So the migrator has 2 components, the converter, which converts the structure, and the importer, which imports the data. That's what I'm going to show you. What we do 4 things. We first validate, we check if this can be done. We try to normalize the tables, and we generate the database objects. The way how we generate the database objects, we create one big string with commands like create table, create index, create sequence. And at the very end, we run this with execute immediate in one go. And at the end, we import the data. So those are the 4 things that happen. How does this work? There is a new PL/SQL package called DBMS JSON Duality. It has very few procedures. One of them is infer and generate schema, which is the one that usually one would use. So it does everything in one go. And some other parameters which are important, updatability, those 2 are Boolean parameters. Updatability means if those duality views, JSON duality views, can be updated. Of course, in most cases, you want the data to be updatable for them, so the default is true. So of course, once you have the application ready and running, you would like to also be able to update the data in the Oracle tables directly through the views, through the duality views. And use flex fields. Default is true, of course. In most cases, you want to use flex fields because you don't want to lose data. If the JSON documents bring new fields, you would like those new fields to be recorded. You don't want to lose them. And of course, there are parameters like error log, source schema, table spaces that are typical for Oracle. Now, that was from the PowerPoint side. And let me show you how this works in practice. I was just telling my colleagues here that I was traveling all day and I didn't drink coffee so I can sleep on the plane. It worked, but now I feel like I am on a plane. Now, the collection that I'm going to use is called coffee. It's a coincidence, just. Let me drop some tables if they exist so I can get rid of them. I'm going to create 12 different coffee documents, like espresso, cappuccino, and so on. But before that, we need to create the JSON collection table. And as you can see in Oracle 26 AI, there is a new command now, create JSON collection table. And I add the syntax if not exists. So I call it coffee. And JSON collection table, it's a table with only one column. And this column is called data. Let's see it. Data and, of course, JSON data type. So let's generate the data. So I don't have to go to a Mongo database, export the data, move it. We don't have the time for that. I'm going to populate the JSON data. So the first one would be a bit more complex. I'm going to have a document with ID 1. It will be called espresso, and the fields are usually standard. I'll have price. Here, price is 5. Size is short, quantity 22. And I have coffee items. I have details. I have Italian espresso, and I have Finnish espresso. And for every Italian espresso, I have a unit price. I have a code. So let's add this one to the collection. One row inserted. And the other ones, I'll do it in bulk. I'll create them all. I have one row for cappuccino, latte, mocha, americano, cortado, macchiato, Turkish coffee, iced coffee, dirty chai, decaf, Finlandia coffee. And every coffee has a price. You see the size and the quantity that we have. Let's insert those into the collection. So 11 more. 11 more. All right. Hopefully everything worked well. Insert. So let me show you something about those documents. Look at, for example, the Turkish coffee one. I have here one field called old price. Old price doesn't exist in the other one. So that's a exotic field. We call it an outlier. So this will be dumped into the flex fields. Also, I have here old price also for coffee Finlandia, as you can see. I have decaf coffee, row number 11. For the decaf coffee, I have a brand called Relax. This exists only here. The other ones, they don't have brands. So I'm deliberately creating some fields which are non-common. And now, let's try to, based on this collection, let's try to create an Oracle database. I want to show you how it works. That's the whole thing that you see, this PL/SQL block. I'm not going to run it. I'm going to eventually to run it, but I want to show you what it does. So you see here from declare until the end. I defined the schema SQL, which is this very big character string, which we're going to run with execute immediate at the end. We're going to use the new package and the new procedure called infer and generate schema. I have to list all the collections from Mongo that I'm going to convert into an Oracle database. Of course, for the sake of this example, I have only one, which is called coffee. I'm using flex fields because I have outliers. I want to play it safe. I would like to make the views updatable, so updatability is true. And I'm setting the frequency to 20. Default is 5, but I'm setting it to 20, just for the sake of this example. And the source schema is admin. Admin is the schema where I'm logged in. The user here is admin. You can print the script. You can, of course, change the script as you wish. But I'm going to run it at once. And at the very end, I'm running the import procedure. I'm importing from the coffee collection everything that we have already into the duality view called coffee duality. When you run this automatic procedure, for every collection, Oracle will create a duality view with the same name and underscore duality. So you know that those are the JSON views. Now I'm going to run it, and if everything works fine, I should get a PL/SQL procedure successfully completed. Yes, here it is. All right, very nice. But what happened? We don't know what happened. So Oracle created some stuff for us. So in order to see what Oracle created for us, let us select everything from user objects for the objects that were created in the last 1 hour, and I'm going to order them by the object type. So Oracle created several objects. We're just curious what Oracle created for us. Let's see. You can see we have the coffee duality view. This is a view. Oracle created the root table. This is the relational table that Oracle created based on the JSON document. Oracle created also a sequence. Oracle created several indexes. And probably the most interesting thing is to see what is that relational table that Oracle created for us, coffee root. always they're called root because they're based on the JSON collections. So Oracle created a table which contains which fields? ID, date, item, size, price, quality, and the flex column. Let's see what this looks like. Let's select star from coffee root. This is the relational table. So here it is. You can see, starting from the right to the left, the flex data. The flex data is the coffee items for the coffee espresso in Finlandia. You can see the oat price for Turkish coffee, and you can see also for the decaf coffee brand Relax. So Oracle dumped those unrecognizable or outlier fields into the flex column. For the rest, Oracle created a column called ID, date, item, size, price, quantity. This is the relational table. Oracle created automatically based on the JSON document. Think if you have a MongoDB database, you want to migrate it to Oracle, how hard work manually would be to figure out what tables to create. Now, probably that's the last session of today and you might be tired, but one question, why did Oracle create a column called item? It's called item. Price is called price, quantity is called quantity, but why is size called or dollar size and why is date called or dollar date? Is this Misho? Okay, you know. Yes, that's the correct answer, yes, because they're reserved to works in Oracle. All right, so that's how it looks like. And if we go to, if imagine we are Mongo guys, we don't understand about Oracle and we want to work with this Oracle database, let me refresh. Now we have the coffee duality view here. You can see here we have the same document as a JSON document, but it's a view. And you can see here that we have the, for ID1 we have the espresso, for 2 we have the cappuccino and so on. If I click on this one, which will show us the same data in rows and columns, we can see that we have exactly the same stuff here. And if you are a Mongo guy and you don't know how to update the data, for example, if you want to update, for example, this price, you can directly edit it from here. You can make it from 5, you can make it 6, and you can run an update. And you can continue working as a Mongo expert without caring how Oracle database works and how to run a SQL statement, how to write an update statement against an Oracle table. This can happen directly from the Mongo tools. So that's the bottom line of my presentation, that you can use now the Oracle database in dual form. You can use it as a document database, as a Mongo database, and you can use it as an Oracle database. Now let's do something else. Let's go back to SQL Developer, and for example, let me create, for example, another view, a JSON collection view, read-only view called cheap coffee, where I would like to select all the coffees where price is less than 5. It's basically a simple command, create JSON collection view cheap coffee as select star from coffee duality from the duality view where price is less than 5. Here it is, created. Let's go back to SQL, to Mongo Compass. If I refresh, here is the cheap coffee collection. How many do I have? I have only 2 because I updated already one. I have the decaf and the Americano. You can create a view based on a duality view.
Can you create a view based on something in the flex column?
Yes, you can. You just have to select the fields from the flex column. You can
Find out which have.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you can select. You can drill down and pick up fields from the flex column. That's a very good question, and that's important sometimes because this is a very simple example, but you might have a flex column with dozens of values. All right. What can I do? I would like also, for example, if you can insert directly data through the root table. If you're an Oracle expert, you don't know how to work with Mongo Compass, you can insert a document number 13 called ristretto. Here it is, and I can add another field called color. We didn't have color until now, color dark. 1 row created. I can update through the duality view, and I can set the color to light for Coffee Finlandia. Or not Coffee Finlandia, number 3, I don't remember which one it was. So you can change the values. Let's commit. And let's see what happened. Let's go to Coffee Duality again. And we added a new row, number 13. You see, although we inserted the information directly into the root table, of course, that's a view. It automatically reflects the new ristretto coffee. What else I can do? I can insert directly into the duality view. Number 14, I can insert, for example, cafe cream. That's what German guys like to drink. And say, put some quantity, price 0. Well, 0, I don't know why 0, but 0. It works with 0. So here it is. And I can update also using the color for a coffee number 14, the one we just inserted. I can set color to unclear. Let's do that as well. And commit again. And let's go once more to Mongo Compass. Refresh. And see if number 14 exists here. Here is number 14, cafe cream, price 0, and color unclear. So you can basically do everything either from the duality views or from the Oracle tables. If you have a team of developers who are both with complementary skills, you don't have to anymore choose between a Mongo database or an Oracle database, or between PostgreSQL database or DocumentDB.
A question, what if the outlier or this flex column is nested object?
There is no issue with that.
But how you can actually select only parts of the nested object? Let's say you have address, and you want to
We have in
put the addresses that, I don't know, line 1 is missing or line.
Yes, we have new Oracle functions and operators in Oracle 26AI. You can use those to extract the data. It's possible. There are functions and operators that do it.
Final question, you have everything created, but then you have new collections, which means the outliers that you had are no longer outliers.
Yes, then you might have to run again the same tool. Then, of course, it's up to the policy how the business application develops. So are you creating now the new applications directly from
Or
the...
you just have a new brand for coffee, like in your example. Maybe
Yeah.
the old ones were changed,
Yes.
now you have another 15.
Yes.
And this another 15 make something that was flex column and not flex column.
Well,
So you have to reimport.
understood. You have to re-import everything, or for example, you might decide at one point after half a year or 1 year that you probably don't want some flex columns fields to be any more flex column fields. You want them to be, yes, exactly. Yeah.
So you have some procedure now to run an update, or
You can rerun it once more. We have actually a customer in Canada who is doing it on daily, I don't know daily or by the weekly basis, but they're reinserting the data all the time from scratch. All right, and this is something interesting. There is also Golden Gate for Mongo migrations. We just announced it that it's a free tool for half a year, and that you can directly migrate. So basically, that was my presentation. I think that's the end. Summary, in the Oracle database, JSON documents and relational data can be within the same database. That's clear. Number 2, that you can store, manage the relational data and the JSON documents in the Oracle database. You can do the same thing for them, unified management, security, consistency, everything in one go. And the JSON to Duality migrated the tool, that's number 3, that it's a tool that automatically migrates documents stored such as MongoDB to Oracle, DocumentDB to Oracle. All right. You can try it for free, and I'm open to questions now.
Thank you for the wonderful lecture. I would just to ask if these commands from Mongo to Oracle database put many different rare parameters in this flex column, and I want a specific parameter to be in a separate column. How we make this? Let's say the old price. I want the old price or the trademark to be in a separate column by my wish.
Yes. There is the way that you can play with this parameter, which is called the frequency. You can set the frequency to 0, and then you can put every single outlier in a separate column.
But if I want a specific parameter like old price, no matter of the frequency.
But do you know in advance, keep the microphone please. So do you know in advance which this field would be, or?
Yes, I know in advance the name of the field.
Then in that case, I would not run the script in one go like I did. I would just look at the file, the script that it creates, because Oracle runs it automatically, and I would manually modify it. Some people may modify it manually.
and manually set the name of the column.
Yes, exactly, yes.
Thank you very
It's
much.
a manual work, but some people
Okay.
do it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. A lot of questions, I guess.
That's good.
Sorry, how slow it is for mass update? If I want to insert a new property in every JSON and I have like 100 terabytes of table.
100
What-
terabytes a
yeah.
table. The biggest
What-
I've seen is
what
90
different-
terabytes, but it's a big table, yes.
What difference should I expect compared to a normal column and mass update?
Well, same. But of course, in most of the cases nowadays, those autonomous databases they run on top of Exadata, so this is pretty fast. But if you would like to update really a table with 100 terabytes, and I've seen a customer with 90 terabytes of data, that takes time. That can be very slow.
But it will not be slower than regular column.
No, but usually such big tables, they're partitioned. They're even sub-partitioned. And usually you'd only run the update in one partition.
Yes, but you do mass update.
Can we update the JSON, let's say, to be, you showed a new column like brand or something. If it's a complicated column like array or embedded address, let's say, with few fields inside, embedded JSON, is it possible because the structure that you showed with additional tables that Oracle does internally, it should be changed because we need a new table, let's say, that we need to refer to?
Well, what Oracle does is based on an internal, let's say, AI algorithm, which cannot be changed. But you, once you know the script that is going to be run against the database to create those fields, you can do it on your own. But it wouldn't happen automatically.
So the migrator is just providing you with the scripts just
Yes,
for
it's-
easy start, and
yes,
you can
correct,
do whatever
yes.
you want after that if
Exactly,
you don't like it.
exactly, yes.
But okay, with generated table already, migrated, whatever, I want to insert record, I don't know, 25, that has the address of the cafeteria, let's say.
Yes.
And the address is, you know, street,
Yeah, I
number.
understand, yes.
Yeah, so is it possible? What will happen?
If you have the flex column, yes. Otherwise,
In
you
the
get
flex,
an error
yeah,
message.
yeah, in the flex, of course, in the flex.
Yes, yes. Otherwise, you get an error message.
And do we have opposite migration from Oracle to some kind of MongoDB, let's
Well,
say?
that's a question you should ask from somebody who works for MongoDB.
Ah, okay.
I work for Oracle.
You can't escape the Oracle, I guess.
Is there a maximum limit to nesting for
No.
Dual?
No, there is no. Actually, that's a very good question, and probably this is the 5th time somebody is asking me this question, and there is no physical limit, but you hit the limit with performance at some point.
Do you know at what level is this?
I've tried with 1,000 nested, and I didn't have an issue, but it's worth trying. I created a script that does 1,000 nests. But maybe if you do 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, I don't know, maybe you hit some performance issue first before you hit this limit. And I did ask development. I'm product manager. I asked development about this limit. They said that they have not put it in the code anywhere. So usually the answer we give is that there is no physical limit.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you for the great presentation. One question, is the flex column JSON type?
Yes, it is, yes. It must be.
It must be, okay, then, and then when we select only it out of a given table, would it appear again as a only data name?
It will appear as a data. The column will appear as data only if it's a JSON view or if it's a JSON collection table. Otherwise, if you'd like to create a new table, you can choose whatever names for columns you want.
Right. Okay, and one question about the colleague that answered asked is if we just insert another JSON data or another record that is over the threshold for a given field name, would it automatically become a column of the table instead of a
No,
flex?
it wouldn't become automatically.
It wouldn't.
It wouldn't, no.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, final question, because, yeah, we... anyone? No final questions?
There is one more
there
here.
is final question.
My final question is, if I search a sequence of symbols, which in the JSON file is present in different fields, but I wanted to select it and to put it in one column in Oracle database. Is it possible, and how we do it?
Yeah, it is possible. We have an internal operator which is called JSON exists, JSON underscore exists. That's how you do it. JSON underscore exists.
Underscore exists. Okay,
Yes,
thank you very much.
That's the way how you do it.
Thank you once again.
All right, thank you very much for the attention. Yes.